Most people do not stay broke because they do not make enough money. They stay broke because every time life gives them a little progress, they find a way to ruin it. Let's be honest. A lot of people are not struggling because they are clueless. They know they should save. They know they should invest. They know credit card debt is stupid. They know blowing money on random garbage is setting them back. They know all of that and they still do it. Why? Because the real issue here is not information. It is behavior, it is insecurity, it is impulsiveness, it is using money to feel better, look better, escape reality, impress people, reward yourself too early, and avoid facing the truth. That is the part nobody wants to talk about. People love asking for the best side hustle, the best investing app, the best budget strategy. Cool. None of that matters if you keep being the same person with the same self-sabotaging patterns. You do not have a money problem, you have a behavior problem. And if I'm being honest, that should actually be good news because behavior can be fixed. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why you keep sabotaging your finances, what is really going on underneath it, and how to finally stop repeating the same cycle. Before we get into it, I want to know this. What is one thing you keep spending money on even though you already know it is hurting you? Comment it down below. Here is what makes this dangerous. Bad money psychology does not usually look dramatic. It looks normal. That is why people miss it. It looks like ordering food because you had a long day. It looks like upgrading your lifestyle the second your income goes up. It looks like buying clothes, shoes, tech, or dumb little status symbols because you want to feel like you are doing better than you really are. It looks like spending money after a bad week because you think you deserve it. It looks like seeing everyone online flexing their life and quietly feeling behind, so now your spending starts becoming emotional without you even realizing it. This is where people get themselves in trouble. They stay broke while looking rich. They stay stressed while pretending they are fine. They keep saying they want freedom, but their daily behavior says they want comfort, dopamine, and validation more. And there is a huge difference between those two things. One person uses money to build freedom. Another person uses money to protect their ego. Same paycheck, completely different future. The whole point here is simple. Your financial life is not just a math equation. It is a reflection of your habits, your emotional control, your identity, and what you do when nobody is watching. If that part is broken, no amount of extra income is going to save you. So let's talk about the real reasons you keep self-sabotaging. The first reason people sabotage their finances is insecurity spending. This is when you are not really buying something because you need it. You are buying it because you want to feel better about yourself. You want to look more successful. You want to feel more respected. You want people to see you a certain way. So you buy the expensive shoes, the nicer car than you can actually afford, the flashy watch, the overpriced dinners, the constant little image upgrades that make you feel important for 5 minutes. And if I'm being honest, this one catches a lot of guys because nobody wants to admit they are using money to cover insecurity. It sounds weak. But it is real. A lot of people do not want wealth. They want the appearance of wealth. Those are two completely different goals. The psychology behind it is pretty simple. If you do not feel solid internally, you start trying to build that feeling externally. You want proof, you want signs, you want something visible you can point to and say, see, I'm doing well, see, I matter, see, I'm not behind. So money becomes a costume. It becomes branding. It becomes an emotional patch for something deeper. But here's the problem. When you spend to impress, your future pays for your insecurity. Every image-based purchase quietly steals from your actual stability. And the worst part is, this kind of spending feels justified because it does not look crazy. It is not always some huge stupid purchase. Sometimes it is just constant little upgrades. Better sneakers, better phone, better dinner spot, better apartment, better everything. Death by 1,000 flexes. That is the trap. People think it's not that serious. Meanwhile, those habits are keeping them financially average for years. If I were you, I would start asking one brutal question before every non-essential purchase. Do I want this for my life, or do I want this for other people's eyes? That question will expose a lot. Because rich looking and rich being are not the same thing. The guy trying to look rich buys attention. The guy trying to become rich buys time, ownership, and breathing room. Big difference. The second reason people sabotage their finances is emotional spending. This one is sneaky because it usually shows up when you are tired, stressed, bored, frustrated, lonely, or just mentally off. You are not buying because it makes sense. You are buying because you want relief. You had a bad day, so now it is food delivery. You feel unmotivated, so now it is online shopping. You are bored, so now it is random spending that gives you a tiny hit of excitement. You feel like life has been heavy lately, so you tell yourself you deserve a reward. Let's be honest. A lot of spending is not about the item. It is about the feeling. That is the real issue here. Spending can give you a quick sense of control, a quick sense of pleasure, a quick sense of escape. For a few minutes, you feel better, and because that relief feels real, your brain starts connecting discomfort with spending. Stress equals buy something. Sad equals buy something. Bored equals buy something. That is a horrible pattern to build because once your wallet becomes your coping mechanism, You are done. If your wallet is doing your emotional coping, your future is going to pay for it. And no, this is not about never enjoying your money. That is not what I am saying. I am saying if every uncomfortable emotion keeps turning into a purchase, then you are not in control anymore. Your emotions are. This is what keeps people stuck. They think they have a spending problem, but really they have an emotional regulation problem that shows up through spending. The fix here is not complicated, but it does require honesty. You need friction. You need a gap between feeling and buying. No emotional purchase should happen instantly. Give it 24 hours. If you still want it tomorrow, fine, but you do not get to spend in the same emotional wave that made you want it. And build a replacement move. Go to the gym, go for a walk, get out of your room, drink water, call somebody, do something that changes your state without costing you money. Because right now, a lot of people are not buying stuff. They are buying relief. That is expensive. The third reason people sabotage their finances is they reward themselves too early. This is a massive one. Every time they make a little more money, they immediately start spending like they made a lot more money. New income comes in and the lifestyle starts expanding instantly. Better apartment, better car, more subscriptions, more takeout, more convenience, more little upgrades that slowly become permanent expenses. And people always say the same thing: I earned it, maybe. But that does not mean it is smart. This is where people get themselves in trouble. They finally get momentum, and instead of using that momentum to create stability, they use it to increase pressure. Now they need more money just to maintain the new version of their life. So even though income went up, peace of mind did not. One person gets a raise and buys nicer things. Another person gets a raise and buys margin. Margin is what gives you options. Margin is what gives you breathing room. Margin is what lets you survive setbacks without panicking. Most people are obsessed with looking upgraded. Very few are obsessed with becoming harder to shake. That is why two people can earn the same amount and live completely different lives. One is still stressed, still fragile, still checking their account with anxiety. The other is slowly building actual power. If I were you, the next time your income goes up, I would act broke for 6 more months. Seriously, not forever. Just long enough to let the extra money do something useful. Stack cash, kill debt, build investments, create a buffer. Prove to yourself that more income can actually change your life instead of just funding better looking habits. The fastest way to stay financially average is to upgrade your lifestyle every time life gives you a little momentum. That line right there is the whole game for a lot of people. Now, here is the deeper part. A lot of people do not just sabotage their finances because of spending. They sabotage them because chaos feels familiar. This is the part people hate hearing. Some of you are more comfortable in dysfunction than in discipline. Not because you are lazy. Not because you are stupid, but because your nervous system is used to instability. You are used to being behind. You are used to cleaning up messes. You are used to saying, I'll get serious next month. So when life starts getting more organized, more disciplined, more stable, part of you unconsciously resists it. Why? Because stable feels unfamiliar. And unfamiliar can feel dangerous even when it is better. So what happens? You save money for a while, then blow it. You get disciplined, then randomly relapse into stupid spending. You start investing, then stop. You pay off progress, then somehow end up back in the same hole. Not because you do not want better, but because your habits are still loyal to the old version of you. Your old identity will burn your progress just to feel familiar again. That is a quote people need to sit with. A lot of self-sabotage is identity conflict. You say you want to be financially disciplined, but deep down you still see yourself as impulsive. You still see yourself as the guy who never sticks to anything. You still see yourself as bad with money. So every time your actions start challenging that identity, your old habits pull you back down. This is why motivation is not enough. Motivation gets crushed by identity every time. If you want to stop self-sabotaging, you need to stop making every decision from your current mood and start making decisions from the person you are trying to become. That means automating your good behavior. Separating your money the second it comes in, making bad decisions harder, making good decisions automatic. Because the more your finances rely on willpower, the more likely you are to fold when life gets annoying, and life is always going to get annoying. So let me pause here and say this clearly. You are not doomed. You are not broken. But you do need to stop lying to yourself. That random spending is not harmless. That lifestyle creep is not success. That I deserve it mindset can absolutely ruin your future if you keep using it every week. You do not need more hacks. You need more honesty. So let's make this useful. If you actually want to reset your finances, here's what I would do. First, go through the last 30 days of your spending. Every transaction. Do not do this emotionally. Do it like an audit. We are not looking for shame. We are looking for patterns. Where does your money keep leaking? What categories are clearly emotional? What keeps showing up over and over again? Second, label the reason behind bad spending. Was it stress, boredom, insecurity, convenience, wanting to impress somebody, trying to feel in control? Most people never do this, and that is exactly why they keep repeating the same behavior. You cannot fix a pattern you refuse to name. Third, separate needs from validation spending. Some spending improves your life. Some spending just protects your ego. Learn the difference. This one change alone will save a lot of people. Because again, the real issue here is not just the amount of money leaving. It is why it is leaving. Fourth, create friction before you buy. Remove your saved cards. Unfollow accounts that trigger comparison. Make yourself wait 24 hours on non-essential purchases. Move your savings into a separate account so you are not casually looking at it like it is spending money. Friction matters because impulsive behavior loves easy access. Fifth, automate the smart version of you. Save automatically, invest automatically, pay debt automatically. Handle the important stuff before your emotions get a vote. Because if you leave everything up to discipline, eventually your feelings are going to hijack the plan. And finally, tie money to identity. Stop saying I'm trying to be better with money. That sounds weak. That sounds temporary. Start saying, I'm the kind of person who does not need to look rich to feel good. I'm the kind of person who keeps money. I'm the kind of person who buys freedom, not approval. That matters more than people think because the whole point here is not to become obsessed with saving every dollar. The whole point is to become someone who stops betraying his own future. That is the shift. At the end of the day, most financial self-sabotage is not random. It is emotional. It is patterned. It is identity-based. And once you see that, stop treating your money like the problem and start dealing with the behavior behind it. That is when things actually change. Less ego, less impulse, less fake reward, more control, more peace, more intention, more self-respect. You do not need to become perfect. You just need to stop handing your future over to whatever you happen to feel in the moment. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Hit that subscribe button.